Welcome to an outlet for men. This episode, She's Got Your Stuff, Do You Take It Back or Walk Away? Is inspired by Joy. Thank you. Breakups are messy, and one of the hardest questions men face is this: do you take back your stuff, or do you just leave it behind? Some people tell you, walk away like a man, don't stoop to her level. But let's be real. Sometimes what's left behind isn't just a hoodie. Sometimes it's a car you're still paying for. And sometimes the act of taking it back isn't about pride. It's about saying, this is over, no coming back, I'm done. When it comes to the small stuff, the hoodie, the watch, the sneakers, it might feel trivial, but the choice you make carries meaning. I knew a guy who left his favorite hoodie at his ex's place. He said, she can have it. That hoodie is the price of peace. And for him, that worked. He wanted distance. He wanted distance, not drama. But I also knew another man who went back for everything. Every shirt, every pair of socks. He wasn't being petty. He was making a point. The relationship had become toxic. She disrespected him. He even flirted with another guy right in front of him. So when he walked out the door, he wanted no trace of himself left behind. For him, taking his stuff back was saying, I'm finished. This door is locked. Now, let's talk about the serious things. Cars, housing, and money. Here's where pride and practicality collide. One man I knew left his car with his ex because she needed it more. On paper that sounded noble, but the payments were still in his name. A year later, his credit was wrecked, and he was still paying for the gas he didn't burn. That decision kept him tied to her long after the breakup. And it gets even worse. What if she loans the car to her friend and there's an accident? Guess whose name is on the insurance and the registration? Yours. That means you could be on the hook financially, even facing lawsuits or criminal charges. Same thing with housing. Maybe the lease or mortgage is in your name. What happens if the house burns down and insurance decides not to pay because the details just don't line up? You're the one left holding the bag. That's not just expensive, that's financial ruin. And sometimes even legal battles you never saw coming. Then there's the other story. A man whose ex was driving the car he was paying $800 a month for, plus insurance. He realized, I can't keep working just so she can ride around with someone else in my car. So he took it back. Some people told him it was cold. But in reality, it was the only way to cut the cord, protect his finances, and walk free. Now, here's the part men often ignore: the emotional costs. Breakups don't just end in silence. They stir up hurt, anger, resentment, and sometimes contempt. When things get messy, emotions can spiral. But listen carefully. If you let those emotions boil over into violent behavior, the consequences are serious. We're talking charges here, criminal records, even incarceration. And that's not just about you, it's about your future, your freedom, your career, and even the ability to see your kids if you have any with her. One bad night of losing control can take away years of your life. That's why these decisions matter so much. Taking back your stuff isn't just about property, it's about controlling the narrative before the emotions spill into something you can't undo. Sometimes walking away spares the fight. Sometimes reclaiming what's yours is the cleanest way to end it. Either way, don't let your pain turn to violence, because that never ends well for men. Men, here's a bigger picture. Taking back your stuff is the nuclear option. Once you do it, there's no returning to, maybe we'll work it back out in the future. That's why it's not a casual decision. I've seen men regret it. They took everything back, only to miss her later. But once you take that step, there's no clean way back in. And honestly, That's the point. If the relationship became toxic, if she disrespected you, put another man in your face, or treat like you were disposable, then finality is exactly what you need. When you reclaim what's yours, you're not just collecting items. You're protecting your future, your finances, your freedom, and yes, your peace of mind. Fellas, there's no one best choice here. The choice is yours and yours alone, depending on what you can live with, what you're able to swallow, and how much risk you're willing to take. This is an outlet for men. Real talk for real men.